Okay, as Thomas Sanders would say, story time. So, the first WrestleMania I ever went to, holy shit. Okay, WrestleMania is amazing. Mariah. uh, that's no good. Um, okay, so as Thomas Sanders would say, story time. So, first WrestleMania I ever went to. Holy shit. All right, here's the thing about WrestleMania, guys. Like, here's the thing about WrestleMania. I was not prepared for WrestleMania. All right, so it's New Orleans, WrestleMania 30, first WrestleMania I ever go to. A buddy of mine and Daniel and I, we wanted to go really, really bad. And oh no, it was, what was it? He bought the tickets for my birthday. He was like, dude, happy birthday, man. I'm buying tickets because WrestleMania always falls on my birthday weekend, right? My birthday is April 5th, so WrestleMania always falls on the weekend. WrestleMania 30 fell on April 5th, and so he's like, we have to go. And so I was like, okay. So it was like the greatest, like one of the greatest birthday presents I ever had. So it was in New Orleans. So we file into, we jump into my Mustang, because I had a Mustang convertible at the time. We jump into the Mustang and we drive all the way down to New Orleans. And like we get there, here's the sad thing about New Orleans. When we got there, it was obvious that New Orleans was beautiful at one point, and Bourbon Street still is. But you could tell how bad Hurricane Katrina rocked that town. Like you could tell how bad it destroyed so much of the stuff that was there, like the culture, the history, the whole nine yards. You could tell how bad it was really. If you guys have ever, anybody who's ever been to New Orleans before and after Katrina can definitely tell you how bad it was. But anybody who's been there after Katrina can tell you like how big the stark difference is just based on the buildings that are there, the ones that are dilapidated and all that kind of stuff. It was rough. But we get down there. Now, my view of wrestling fans had always been that like as a group, we are basically nerds, right? Like we're nerds and geeks, and like we wear like wrestling shirts, and like we're all fat and overweight and all that kind of stuff, you know. I mean, I'm part of that crowd, you know. I always assumed that we were like, no, man, dude, these people were party animals. So this was during the Yes movement with Daniel Bryan, right? Like when Triple H became one of the greatest villains of all time in wrestling history, some of the best writing WWE's had in almost 2 decades. When he was like the bad guy, it's what's good for business, that whole thing. So Daniel Bryan has this whole thing where it's like, yes, you know, it's like the Yes movement. People, dude. So we get into New Orleans. We check into the hotel, right? And then like we end up going to this restaurant called Dickie Brennan's. Daniel buys me dinner because I cover the cost of the hotel since he covered the cost of the tickets. So we end up going to this restaurant called Dickie Brennan. So we're sitting in there, and this guy comes up, like the manager comes up, and he's like the most New Orleans guy ever, right? He's like, hey y'all from New Orleans, like from Nolans. You know, he's got like the most New Orleans, like it's like, okay, so this guy was born and raised here, and he's obviously rich as fuck. And so we're like, yeah, man, like we're not from here, we're from Kentucky, but we're here for WrestleMania. He's like, y'all want to hear a story? And we're like, all right, man, like tell us a story. He's like, whenever The Rock or like John Cena or anybody comes here, like here's the craziest shit about The Rock, right? Like so this guy's like, The Rock will come here to like Dickie Brennan's, right? Because it's like a world-class restaurant. So he's like, like The Rock will come here to Dickie Brennan's, buy out the restaurant for the night, and then like his personal, like his like nutritionist will bring in all The Rock's food, and like the chefs in the restaurant will cook it, and then The Rock will eat it. Imagine the cheddar you need to pull off some shit like that to like buy out a world-class steakhouse for a whole night. Imagine all the money they're going to lose. So you got to compensate them for the money they're going to lose, and then you got to compensate for all the people who are going to be working there. So like shut down the restaurant for the night, and then eat there. Like bring in your own food and have them cook it for you. Dude, imagine the money you would need to pull it. Craziest shit I've ever in my life. So anyway, so after that we end up going down to Bourbon Street, and there's like, dude, it was, man, let me tell you something, man, it was the craziest shit I ever saw in my life. There's like this rumble, right? You hear like this yes off in the distance, and it sounds like a handful of people. And then like we're walking through Bourbon Street, and then it turns, dude, it's like this caravan of people, right? It's like this caravan of like thousands of people marching through Bourbon Street. Yes, yes, yes. All of them are drunk as hell, right? Like they're absolutely smashed how drunk they are. And so like they come walking down Bourbon Street, and they turn down this little alleyway. Really, geese? God, man. It's bad enough they're dicks when they're on the ground. They got to be dicks in the air too. Jesus, man. Like, when are you guys ever not assholes, man? Like geese, man. Dude, they're mean sons of bitches, man. Like geese are jerks. So anyway, so yeah. So they end up turning down this alleyway. Like we're following them, and then like there's this bar, dude. The best marketing move this bar had. This bar was like this guy comes out, and he's like, he's like, holy shit, like he goes running in, comes running back out with a sign that says like half price drinks. And dude, they're like, yes, and they all start filing into this bar. Another guy comes out from another bar, tries to drag us in. We're like, nah, man, we're good, man. We're all going in here. So like almost 1,000 people filed into this bar. They probably had a max occupancy of like, I don't know, maybe 350, 500 people. Like it's insane. And like everybody's ordering, dude, it's pandemonium. I was like, we gotta get out of here, man. This place is bonkers. So we end up leaving. And then the next day we come out for lunch. And we end up going to the chicks at the front desk. Now, rule of thumb, whenever you go to a foreign city, all right, always go to like a really nice restaurant in a foreign city. But then when you want to do lunch, ask the people who work at the hotel. Walk down there and say, hey, like, where do you guys get lunch at? Like, we don't want the tourist places. We want the places you guys go to. So ask them where they get lunch at. Like, literally hit them up and say, where do you guys get lunch at? I got a phone call. Hello? Any of you guys keep getting those bullshit spam phone calls from credit card companies? Like, I read a chick a riot act once. I was like, you know what? Because what pisses me off is they cheat old people out of their money. I'll tell you guys that story one day. But anyway, so we end up coming down. We end up asking them, like, hey, where do you guys go for lunch? You should always do that. Because people who work, like, who live in the town, go to the good restaurants. They don't go to the shitty restaurants. Like, when Mariah and I go to Lexington, I'm going to take her to Charlie Seafood. I'm going to be like, girl, we're going to like, man, best whitefish sandwiches in town. Dude, we're going to, man, let me tell you, dude, Charlie Seafood, man. God, man, I could taste it right now. Charlie Seafood, man, she is not prepared. Dude, Charlie Seafood, man. Dude, anybody who lives in Lexington will tell you, man. Charlie Seafood, Tally Ho. What else is there? Oh, dude, the Crossroads Chinese Buffet. Man, dude, the Crossroads Chinese Buffet. Man, let me tell you something. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so we end up going to this, we end up asking this chick, she's like, what are you guys hungry for? We're like, we're hungry for crawfish. So she's like, okay. She's like, go to this place down here, because you told her seafood in general, but I told her I wanted crawfish. She's like, well, go down here, get on to Bourbon Street, walk down to this road, go here, go to this place. If you see the barn, you've gone too far. She's like, go to these, whatever. And so, like, we end up getting to the place she told us to. Dude, like, we walk up to this place, they've got this great big, huge, like bourbon barrel, lined with metal, boiling crawfish inside, and we're like, holy shit, we're in the right spot. So we get, dude, best food I ever had, dude, man, shrimp and grits, holy shit, dude, legit shrimp and grits from New Orleans, man, dude, it's the most boss food I ever had. So we spend the rest of the day hanging out, like we kind of chill. Then we end up going to the Hall of Fame ceremony. Oh, the other cool thing is we met the Godfather. When we were walking around Bourbon Street, he was pissed. He's like, man, they didn't even invite me to Wrestlemania. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, like, well, Godfather, you kind of haven't been relevant in like 15 years. So I'm sorry, man. You were cool when you were Kama Mustafa in Nation of Domination. You were even cooler when you became the Godfather. And that was like 1999. So unless you somehow maintained your relevancy in the last however many years it's been, there's a reason they didn't invite you. He was riding in a rickshaw. I will say this, he had the most ballin' look ever. Like he comes rolling up, like this rickshaw comes running up, and we're like, oh dude, Godfather, and like he touches the rickshaw guy, he's like, hey, slow up, man. And so like he comes sitting, he's just like chilling back. He's like, what's going on, y'all? We're like, damn, man, this guy's like 90 years old. He's still balling as hell. It was one of the coolest things ever. So anyway, so we end up going to the Hall of Fame ceremony, and that was the year they had Mr. T do the Hall of Fame ceremony, and that was also when they had Razor Ramon, and then the Ultimate Warrior. Oh, dude, that was okay. It was such an honor to see that because the Ultimate Warrior was there. Then I think he showed up in Wrestlemania. And then he showed up on Raw, and then he died like 2 days later. So it was an honor to have a chance to see him before he passed on, because I never had a chance to see him. So we end up it was the saddest thing ever because people were pissed. Mr. T comes out, Mr. T starts talking, and like wrestling fans are so fickle. Like, we're so fickle because on one hand we were getting pissed that Mr. T wouldn't shut up, but on the other hand, like, Kane comes out and is like, hey man, like, you got to stop talking, and they basically like play him off the stage, and then people get pissed, and it's like, okay guys, we can't have it both ways. Either we want him to get the hell off the stage, or we want him to keep talking. Like, we can't do it both ways. But the Hall of Fame ceremony was pretty sweet. So then like we get in there on Sunday, right? Like, we just kind of spend the rest of the day kind of hanging out, whatever. And like, we actually get to WrestleMania on. Okay, so everybody, like, we fall into our seats. We were in like section 200 or something, 200 something or other. And like we have like this prime spot to see like exactly what's going on in the ring, to get like a really, really good shot of everything. It's like I would say the seats that we had were better than like sitting down in the front row, because you got to like look around people and stuff. But But nonetheless, so craziest thing, right? So like Hulk Hogan's music comes on, dun, 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 like Hulk Hogan's music kicks off, and I was like, holy shit, dude, I was so hyped because I've never been in a live venue when Hulk Hogan's music went off. So I was like, oh, dude, it was I am a real American. Dude, it was the coolest thing ever. It was like it was the coolest shit ever. So he comes down there and he was like he started, and what is it? He screwed up the name of the place because we were in the Superdome and he called it the Silver Dome. But I firmly believe he was playing the crowd. I firmly believe he was playing the crowd. Hulk Hogan's been in the industry long enough to know whether they boo or cheer you, any reaction is better than no reaction. So I still say to this day, Hollywood Hulk Hogan was the best version of Hulk Hogan. Like he was ultimate. He was infinitely better than Hulkamania. Dude, like when he was a bad guy, when he was in the NWO, coming down to Stevie Ray Vaughan's Voodoo Child, coolest thing ever. So we end up, we're sitting there watching everything unfold, and then you have in the middle of it, you have Stone Cold's music come on. Now, I'd been to a Raw before, right? Like I'd been to a Monday Night Raw before, back in the day. Oh, that's a beautiful dog. Oh, is she? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, don't knock my tripod over.
Bodhi, stop.
Yeah.
Bodhi, stop. Sit.
Is that her name, Marisa?
Bodhi.
Oh, Bodhi. Okay.
Bodhi.
Oh, okay.
Sit.
That's a beautiful name for a dog.
Bodhi.
Huh.
It means one who's awake. It's kind of like Buddha.
Really?
It's kind of the same idea.
Huh.
And I just liked it because she's 6 months old.
Yeah.
But when she was about 8 weeks old, I got her from the breeder. She kind of came to the edge of the patio, and we were both calling to her, and she just stopped.
Uh-huh.
And kind of looked like she wanted to know what was the right action to take next. So that was kind of fun. She was only about 8 weeks old at that time.
How old is she now?
She's 6 months.
Oh,
yesterday.
wow. She's going to be a pretty good-sized dog when she's full grown.
Yeah, she's, Golden's females are usually about 60.
Are they bigger than the males?
No.
Okay.
No, they're small.
Okay. Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's a beautiful dog.
She's pretty. She's got a lot of the red.
Yeah, she really does.
Yeah,
now that you say that, she really does.
The color in the ears is the color they'll be when they're grown up.
Really?
And so even when they're brand new puppies, that color tells you what their color will be. So but I'm trying to teach her to come when she gets far away from me.
Yeah. Because
she'll just take off and go into the street.
Oh, yeah, that's...
So, but the problem is the training she's had on the short leash is to heel.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
there's a really, really good dog trainer called Fort Collins Dog Wizard.
Really?
Yeah, they're like I'll swear by them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're
well,
solid.
she's going to the Canine Learning Center
Okay.
right now, but, I think she'll be a good crisis dog.
Oh, really?
I'd like to work with the sheriff's department or the police department and take her in when families are in distress. You know. So, what are you shooting today?
I'm recording a video about the first time I went to Wrestlemania.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. All right. And here because...
Oh, because it's beautiful.
Oh, got it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got you.
Yeah, definitely.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Sure is.
You have a good day.
Yeah.
Huh. Bodhi. It means a dog who is awake. Her dog is woke. That's what that means. Okay, so yeah. So I'd been to a Raw before, and so Steve Austin's music kicks off, and that was really, really cool. So I was like, okay, but I've heard that before. All right, so like in the middle of Steve Austin talking, like The Rock's music comes on. And dude, let me tell you something, dude, when The Rock's music kicked off, dude, the top came off that place. Because like I got caught up in the rumors, because the rumors were that like Steve Austin and The Rock were supposed to be there. But let me tell you something, man, like those wrestlers, dude, they hide them away. Dude, they jump out of cracks in the ground. Like they hide in cracks in the ground before they come to the arena. Like you'll never find them. It's the craziest thing. And so like, yeah, dude, The Rock's music comes on and dude, it exploded. And it was the craziest thing ever. Now the rumor is that at next year's WrestleMania, 2019, the one that I'm taking Mariah to, we're supposed to have a The Rock versus Triple H match. They're supposed to bring that old match back. And I was like, oh my God, dude, I really hope that's true. That'd be so badass if it was true. But But yeah, nonetheless, one of the coolest experiences I ever had. You know, one of the best experiences that I ever had was going to WrestleMania 30. And WrestleMania 32 was okay. Really, it wasn't nearly as good. It was cool that it was an open arena, but it wasn't nearly as good. WrestleMania 30 was amazing, but it was the first one. So if you ever get a chance, go to WrestleMania. There's nothing like it. It's just the crowd and everything is mind blowing. But with that being said, guys, we're gonna bring this video to an end. And yeah, I will catch you all later. Peace.